outcome and the amount of output and products that they have at the table. Two, the members of the family are the ones that make our own come to compose the nation of any country. So when the members of the family are actually the form of the nation, the members of the family are also related with the identity of the nation. The type of people that we have in the nation try to lead what the nation becomes in the future. These are some of the issues that the family tries to address in terms of the linking between the family and the nation. Then the other aspect is the social relationship in the family. In the family, members are told how to relate with one another, how to relate with the leadership within the community, and how to relate with the leadership within the community. When they do not relate well, the leadership at different levels, then they are going to have a community or nation which will not be doing well. So it's at the family level that members are told how to interact well with the different levels of members at different households and communities. So this is the role that the family plays in terms of nation building.
Alright, when you talk about how to relate to the leadership, you don't want something you need to accept the authority.
No, it's not about being of accepting authority, but looking at the needs that the family has and how the leadership can provide for the needs and what the community or the household members themselves can also provide towards the very nation that is working towards the nation. So it's not more about permitting it, but having a cordial relationship where you're looking at how resources are being managed, and then you're also looking at how each person at a different level is contributing to the sustainability of that community. So it's not more about permitting it, but having a different relationship.
Now, we look at that specifically in our research, leadership from children grow up and naturally leadership, then only they grow up for the normal family setting.
Thank you. They could also be in a normal family setting.
They could still be rebellious.
They can still be rebellious.
What happens?
Yes, there are many factors actually. One, you might find that the environment in which the child is raised is not conducive enough.
There's a boxing ring in that management.
There could be a boxing ring, but the other aspect could be that the parents may not go there at the household at that time, and therefore these kids grow up with people who may not be able to give them proper guidance. For example, people are growing up with, and this household people who are family, or they are not going to the relationship themselves. So the kind of values and morals that the person is are the different morals which the father or mother is doing as the person. The other aspect is the music. If the parents are not then the music
Children are mentored by the TV.
Yes, they are mentored by TV. In terms of what they are looking at, the soaps may not be the right type of soap. The content that are put in the TV are not correct. Even the timing that is something is not correct. So the kids keep thinking the right thing because they listen.
And there's a relationship.
Then the right thing is occurring. And so that is what happens.
Of course, it doesn't happen on the TV. I've heard somebody has said that television, what television has done to American children, and them from off the record and made them immovable of the sort of unbelievable. Stella, what are the trends we're coming up with?
There are many threats. I would start with the developmental threats that right now the general global development threats, and that is the tendency towards focusing on work and forgetting the role also balancing the things that we do at home. Increasingly, you find a lot of family members are committed to work. Right now, you and I should be at home thinking to the children, but what are we doing now? We are doing homework. Whenever we are doing our homework in terms of office work, and we are not there with the children. And what does that mean? That the children are therefore, as the commission mentioned, being mentored by the children, mentored and carried by the men. By the time of this comes, for example, the children will be there. And so I think what is threatening the family now as a basic unit for the child development is the fact that family members do not have time. Parents are doing what I like to call everybody is chasing the living and the person meaningless if you do not pay attention to the family. But we have forgotten our role of parenting and are focusing on professionalism. And professionalism has a focus. We even now have work being carried on. For example, the portable internet and all these laptops that you carry work home and continue to do your work. Some of us stay home until midnight and don't even know what is happening. So I think it's time for us to stop and as the team guys and people for us to stop now and ask the question, where are you going to be from? Is there something that I can do? And yes, there's something that we can do because the trends are showing that we still just have to work that we have to balance between the work that we do and our role as career people. So balancing between both is a challenge. And it doesn't come easy as we later on. It doesn't come easy because you have to make some sacrifices, especially when you have to
this is better already. One tonight the family is mentioning how can this family deal with more intelligence about our present? It's religion and the community. I just trying to Juliana Kuruhira, Commissioner of Culture and Family Affairs in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Development. Ms. Stella Ayo-Odong, the Deputy Director of the Uganda Child Rights and a completion of 105 years. There are this any job going on the Deputy Director and the cross-cultural foundation of Uganda. This will be a contribution to the discussion as in California modernity. No, what? No.
Well, I think they're not one and the other. You know, the family is part of modernity. You have children who are being educated, and part of their education is so that they can appreciate a modern life and they can respond to modernity in the environment. So you cannot say family, well, what would that be if it is not part of the process? Well, it depends on how you define the family. We're looking at family, even if you say it's a traditional thing or it's something to do with culture, it's dynamic. It's not, it's not carved in stone. So the family will respond to its environment. And if its environment demands that the family needs to upgrade, it needs to become more modern, definitely you're going to find avenues to be educated, to increase your intellect, to be able to engage with others who are at a certain level where they're considered to be modern. And therefore, you cannot say that the family is in the past. It is us today. Much as we might not look like your traditional family, if you went to a rural area, maybe the family settlement would be different and the aspirations would be different. But in town, we also have a different type of family with has aspirations to get to a certain level, whether you call it modernity or whether you call it as a form of advancement. That is an aspiration which is context-specific.
About doing this when you don't go after the family?
I think there's a lot in terms of a sense of belonging, in terms of a sense of security. You have every human being, I believe, has a desire to care and be cared for. And if you don't work in a family, that is something that you lack. And I think in a family there are lots of things that you will learn, which you will not learn in the form of taking classes at schools. They place a lot of emphasis on academic performance. But where is your character developed? Where do you learn values to appreciate others? Where do you learn how to, be a respected person in society? Your school is not going to teach you that because it's not going to come in exams. But you will find in the family you be nurtured in a way that you will get the lessons from your grandmother, you get lessons from your father, your mother, your uncles, your siblings will teach you lessons, and you learn how to exist in a wider context because you have grown up in a family.
When you talk about values, what do you?
Well, values are actually at the core of how human beings interact. So it determines whether you accept or, for instance, not accept corruption. Whether you think it is right.
Oh, you mean corruption is bad?
I would not even expect that question. Yes. So, yes, I mean, values are... Yes. Well, of course, if you steal, then it shows that you're a different kind of human being. Yes. And you're a different category of people. But the fact that you have values, they're your filter. They're the ones who will tell you, I mean, we're exposed to so many things in society, and it's your values that determine what you find acceptable or not acceptable. And you can learn those values at home, but you can also learn them in the church. Some social environments can teach you certain values and to respect others. So those are what help you to determine what you'll accept as an individual, and then how acceptable are you to the wider context.
So when you go out to catch many mannerisms and some tendencies, when you get back home, you take a shower, you get a wash out, some of them.
Well, yeah, some of them, well, then,
but the ones that are causing dedicated like that.
Yes, of course, but you also want to learn how to appreciate difference. So for instance, one of the things that we're studying at PhD is about pluralism. How do you appreciate difference? It doesn't mean that if I have a certain belief, everyone around me has to share that belief. I must be able to respect other people and their values in their uniqueness and appreciate that we don't all have to be the same to all be appreciated in life.
Right. So you might be a woman wearing basically, and you accept a man wearing
well, I don't know that will determine the person is the fact that doesn't make you less of a human being. It's just a
so then, could you talk to us about the society? What's the average ideal society?
I would like to say family, but we don't statistics which indicates that we have a family with 7 people, and
Average Ugandan
family is 7 people, and that should be what is happening now. It could change.
Because you have 7 years old. You're breaking the law.
No, we're not breaking the law. It could go to over 7, but it could come less because of certain factors which will affect the family. So we can't define and say this is the ideal family for Uganda because there are many factors which impact on it. The economic factors are some of the issues, the cultural factors are some of the issues, the political factors are some of the issues that affect the family, and even the season between the people in the family and also affect the size of the family. But at present, the affecting certain families as something other than we have the statistics around the number of the population.
What are the numbers you expect to find out?
The normal things we expect to find out in a family is that one, we will have a family able to have one, the father, the mother, the children, and the other family members, grandparents, could be some people affected in the family. 2, we expect the family to be able to interact communication between the individual members of the family and the members of the family and other family members.
You mean physically, not on Facebook, when you want to do that?
No, physically would be the because it creates social cohesion. It creates social cohesion, but now technologically,
but you can't
communicate. When Facebook people are trying to communicate, well, those are the changes which we are saying affecting the family side, as well as the things that are discussed as family. But idealistically, it would be good, because when you talk to someone face to face, like we are having now, when you would appreciate your intentions, when looking at you, you know what you think, you know what is and so we feel that through that we are able to social interaction and be able to now, maybe in my home, and it's just a review as you are here and expect that. But how come we make it up? To discuss and face the so I think it's good that we have to appreciate that the circumstances also, even in not allow us to have face-to-face discussion. But we encourage that both should be in hand in hand.
Somebody has said that someone has said that the far when people meet, I mean, there are people that have many things or that they say, oh, maybe I'm excited. But when you meet people, you find that there's certainly a trick that there are no more human beings and so on and so on. Because they move back.
Don't you support the river long?
looking at the current conception of family, at times we look at the ideal of family but as a result of the difference of war and conflict, we now have the emergence of child-headed families. And in this child-headed families, you have the child as the head of the family, and therefore giving them taking the role that the parents should be taking on, not because they deserve, but because it's something that pushing them. So yes, they find themselves living in that situation, not because they deserve that situation. There are times when people are forced to live in their homes, not because they want to, but because circumstances that is not it's not desirable. And what I would like to say is that whether you are living alone, you still have money, you still have the brother or the sister and the family. And it's very rare to find an island that nobody knows you and you know it connects to you as you need to live on your own, you still relate and communicate with your family. It's not living alone per se, but keeping in communication with them.
And I think it's very, really important what you mentioned.
Very, very important because as my colleagues have mentioned, it is not good to communication is what makes what makes who we are. But if you're not, just imagine you're not talking in one and you're not communicating.
You could run much sense of this.
Yeah, you could actually do it. So it's important that and at times when you're getting when you're stressed out, the best way to release is stress. And you also think that if you have to build any relationship, even build a partnership with your children, the best way is to open it. Yes, if you go that communication is
remarkable. Things like that. Now this is first time already one that will continue really back up in this but these are things that
yeah, but you know, this kind of question you're asking about respect. Young children
I'll let you get that message. The difference between someone who's working and child is not you know what's funny.
but what do
Mother. There is such a code. Let's assume the number that would be desirable one. The ideal. And then
Special on Radio 1 FM 90.
welcome back.
John, Mike and I, we go back a bit. We knew John at the beginning, working for someone else. But he was different. He had vision, saw opportunities. He started working towards his goal, opened his own garage, and worked, learning the hard way. His reputation spread, trust, consistency, quality. Soon people were coming to him from all parts. He made himself and his whole street prosper, and also helped friends seeing potential. But never success is special. So here's to win like John. Nile Special, which studies paintings from the source. Nile Special, you earned it. Not for sale to persons under 18.
Everybody is a star, the sun stars shine brighter. Oh yeah, be a standout, be a standout, let the light shine through. Yeah, yeah.
Uganda Communications Commission is celebrating initiative and originality in the communications sector with the annual Communications Innovation Award, ACIA, on the 18th of May 2012 at the Kampala Serena Hotel. The occasion will be graced by Vinawa, Vice President of BlackBerry. ACIA CIA 2012, making life easy through innovation. Wait, guys, please know the house. My wife is calling, and I told her I was going to farm.
Honey, how is the farm?
The farm is very fine.
And the cows?
And you can hear them grazing.
Well, next time tell them to eat grass and not meat. I'm seated behind you.
Unlike humans, structures built with human cement don't lie. Different types of projects require different cement. We offer the widest range of cement products in the market and are most preferred by all kinds of builders. So if you're thinking about building, think Human Cement. Human Cement, part of you from the start.
Welcome back to Spectrum already once tonight. We all have fun with relationship. How can you find this very important topic? After the two, it's finished and the community at large. Okay. Juliana Kuruhira. Executive Director of Cross Cultural Management. Then the woman of course. Maybe one of the benefits of course that is the ideal the one that is and develop if you don't go to competition what was the
Well, I think there is a question about what is ideal and what is normal. Maybe one would assume that that is a family where you have a mother and a father present not only physically but also there to bring up children and be there to listen and respond to their needs. And I think the benefit of that is you grow up as a very stable, sort of secure person, and you are able to appreciate yourself without having to deal with too many challenges of survival. But if you grew up in a home where you might have both parents present, which is supposedly ideal, but maybe not their accent in terms of their ability to support them, bring them up, then of course you have a situation where from the outside like you have an ideal family, but on the inside the children are getting what they need in terms of being supported, in terms of building their character. So those would be the two opposites that I look at. But I mean, it's very difficult to say that you have the ideal family.
very good match to 1965. But anyhow, let's look at this way. In the idea of family, if someone grows up in a living family, you say they get self-esteem. When they go out, they are normal people, they are humble people, they don't look to the outside to find their home, without something, they're not insecure. People don't grow up in a living family, find themselves they look for approval from others.
Because they have a lot to prove. You didn't get the approval from your father or your mother. And so you have to keep struggling to prove yourself to the outside world that you're worth something. Where a child who's grown up in what you call a normal home has got that confidence from their parents that told them, you're going to grow up to be this great person, and you don't need any more than what your parents have told you. But if you don't have that, somehow you have to struggle on your own to say, okay, I'm going to go out on my own and do this. And there's so many challenges, there's so much that is going to get your confidence along the way. And so you become somebody who maybe is a bit more graceful and, a little bit insecure and maybe a bit complexes that to your because you're trying to manage.
So it's very, very simple because it's really, what is really talking about very, very concept. Yeah, this sort of simply put, if you look at a man, you can tell you God in something. I'm let's try to get that. Does it show you
It shows physically, but once you interact with somebody, you get a feel of how comfortable they are with themselves in terms of their identity and where they come from. And maybe then you can say, okay, because they come from a secure home, because they're confident in terms of their upbringing. And you find somebody else who's very sensitive about certain things.
Then you can tell something wrong.
Maybe there's some areas that they needed to have dealt with and haven't been dealt with.
Then how far has work been stabilized with this constructed relationship?
Yeah, thank you very much. There's a lot that work has done in the family in Uganda. One, when parents, for example, like a parent using destabilizes the family relationship. One, the lady marriages that destabilize because one family member comes very late and it's called a distress in the family. Two, there could be children in the family who are supposed to be the confidence of both parents, but when they are taking a little time at work, then the on the positive and the need to positive things from the other parent, and therefore that child doesn't start in the family. The actual start is sometimes the children is affected because the children are geared towards watching television, for example, or listening to any program, and therefore whatever they do here, we accept it as so it's directly to your side. Then you also have access to domestic violence. Then one of the spouses comes rich in the relationship, then one can feel abusing the other, abusing and the other is fighting, domestic violence is very high in Uganda. Some of those aspects are related to the time frame that the person comes back from. So there are very many different aspects that come now when a child wants come here and comes and say, "Oh, Daddy, could you please help me with this?" Maybe the child was an assignment. You brush the child or something. Get out of the also breaking. What are you trying to tell that kid through your actions? Because after trying to and when that child grows up, so the actions that will tell you after the beginning of the time of people that will not go on in the future. So all these aspects are necessary for the family. So we try to encourage families to try to get quality time with their family members, either through prayer or through days like for an evening or during the weekend, or through the discussion in the home. In the planning, we could sit together and say, what do we do at this thing, what do we do, how do we manage this? But when the people in the family don't discuss together, then we will take our way to run the relationship. So these are some of the challenges that are faced if you don't start with us and family life.
The children might end up calling their brother for the people come to the relation and their housemate is actually married. Well, maybe you can talk to us still about how the family planning can do it.
One old adage that it's coming to mind when I talk about family and the character. And so the question that people usually get if you see a person with behavior, you ask the question, the school the way and that will tell a lot about the character of the family. So because the home is the basic place where the child learns the first language, they learn to interact fast. It is where we should actually talk about how to engage somebody to speak them. It is only so, we know that when a child is born, the child comes to learn to learn. Now, whatever we choose to write on that language, we become proper child. If the right patience by the way we interact between husband and wife, the child will grow up. If the right deceit, the child knows that money is going to say this and to do the other, the child will grow up. If the right violence, the child will grow up. So I think we need to get back and think about how we can improve the way we money and good behavior. The television is doing it. It's bad media.
Remote control.
Yeah, remote control in one hand and glass in another. And now the modern parent now thinks that the person is bad and good children is bad. No, it has the parental control. and they think it is controlled. The reason it is called parental control, it is controlled because you know what they pick up. You know what they pick up. So it is us trying to build the relationship. If you want to be the human being other than trusting guidance, that when you trust the guidance is going to close out all the happiness and then the child is. But you forget that when the child gets up, the child is going to be the child is going to get up, and then they're going to sleep and run. I know a family that is so strict, I mean, they are very, very, the culture there is that there's no TV in the house.
Oh,
yes, no TV, no radio, and anything.
What do they do with the ones watching?
Nothing. So, I'm saying Ugandan family, young family. So, one time the gentleman gets to happen, and the little girl is playing around. And then he goes and says, my girlfriend should no, they don't have it. They don't have access to it. Now that tells you that when you are away, then
look for it.
They look for it, but the night is there. Maybe having the phone or information. So for that is parenting. And so we need to think about how we, when we to strike about that. I mentioned how that it doesn't have to walk and take. But we need to know when to drop it. And we need to make critical decisions because there are moments when we have to say, how do you decide we can break work and go home. And when I break work, it means to go to work. Now there's this breaking work. Even without carrying files, people carry work with their heads in the grave. And even as the secret there, no, as the secret there, they're actually writing a document that they later on down. No, they're not with you. When they say daddy this, mommy this, and then you respond, yeah, that's okay. That war here and good. We don't communicate. And many times we don't create a gap. And in that sense, when the children then times for us jobs they look out in other places. And increasingly, because the women out who are privileged to have drivers and also units and other drivers, you don't even have time to pick the children. So what you do, you call up the driver, please speak to the people. You know what they talk about. You know when they get initiated in sexual. And children actually get initiated by the driver's at the age of 14 for something to do because new parents are children many children get sexual abuse by the husband to sexual abuse. Particularly the drivers, and it's not a responsibility of the children that children sometimes. Even sexual violence is from age 0 to 10 in Kampala and Congo. Over 50% of children are
This is Dr. Marie Juliana Kuruhira. Our number is 041-031-261-031-390. Dr. Mala, can you call me please tell us the name and where you are?
The family, those ladies are saying the right thing. But I want to summarize everything about Uganda today. The kind of crop of leaders we have is simply because their family values never thought about the bigger good about society. So, I think we can redirect their efforts to make sure Ugandans know they have better leadership, governance, and therefore their kids, our kids. I'm a parent. I know how painful it is for kids to go and be inculcated with venom. What we need today is a caring, concerned government, a concerned effort by government to show that parents are enabled. Whether taking kids to good school, so be it. But these guys never care. They are about to amass words for themselves. I don't want to keep it perpetuating. Good evening.
Alright, let's Stella, what do you say to that?
I think I wouldn't agree with him more that the role of the family in building the right leaders, in building the right members of society.
That's the way you have to do that. That's another question. Yes, sir. Your name?
I salute you. The name of Almighty Allah.
Yes.
This is none other than speaking in your Muhammad from Hawaii, not much Wednesday. I think the sensation is also needed in order.
It seems I've lost you. Please call back again. Dr. Malak? Okay, we lost you, Mr. Sedin. You can still call back.
Yeah, I was saying that the number of challenges, just as the rightly mentioned, that families are confronted with in terms of providing the right environment to bring up their children. For example, the poverty. Urban poverty is not anything that you don't even need to be talked about. You just need to look outside your window, wherever you live, and you see poverty there around you. The families that cannot even afford to take their children to school. The families that cannot afford the money. Now, those challenges do impact in the way the parents react to the children, the way they even relate, the way they discuss, the way they're able to inculcate in them the values, because they are challenged, and therefore they carry the stress. Now that is for the
Okay, Stella Malak. Okay, Stella Malak. Yes, sir, your name?
Yes, such a good my name. First of all, very sacrificing was challenge, because if the discussion within the institutions can feel on the father and mother and look at the child. A lot of church uncles who grown up by I am in Uganda, he grows up by that family. So I don't know what is the definition of the family, how we feel on the father and the mother. I don't know.
Well, actually, that was fine at the earlier but then you can have a recap. Yes?
Yes, I welcome.
My slide went off when I was doing more like my question. But my contribution on that today, I was talking about sensitization. Because you may find most of the villages, like some of the homes, you may find they sow the land and it comes in Kapan, they come to considering the border. So they can use that land to cultivate and they can get food for their relatives or their children. So sensitization can also uplift the standard of homes all over the country. They're going to do this again.
Very good.
Okay, Stella, let's run the chat.
So I was mentioning that the challenges do impact in the way we relate and the final passage of this growing up. There was an issue about the nature of family, the composition of family. I think you mentioned at the beginning that we're not looking at the ideal family being father, mother, uncle, and whatever it is, but looking at the unit under which the person under the age of 18 is brought up and is groomed in children and youth. Because given the nature of families that we have today, we have uncles taking care of people, we have child-living households, we have grandparents taking care of children, and therefore we are saying that whoever has that responsibility of parenting of the person and bringing the person to grow needs to be inculcating them with them. And to that angle, I agree with you that some of us have grown up in their uncles and so on. But what matters is that the uncle treats you the same way they will treat their children. What happens now is that we have classes, we have sections of treatment that I treat my children differently from a cousin or my sister's child is doing. And that makes not sense. Because then the child begins to look at it, they notice it, and they know the difference that the children, the real children, as they describe them, are the ones that are entitled to certain privileges. And the human who happens to be living in that family is not entitled. And we're saying that I think we need to be true to ourselves. And the other thing that she talked about having family time, and what happens now is the artificial family time. That we have what I refer to as Sunday best parents, that they are at their best when they are at home, and they will meet you Edmond and say, I think my daughter saw the school, and they're laughing about it, then the children actually come back to the solution. What goes back home? You just ask us. Let us put the showcase parenting that is happening. And I think it is common among the athletes. That is the sad thing. We see a lot of the showcase parenting need to be good. And that also affects the children because they now see the same. And when they begin to resent you, then you wonder, when is this child to get this development school? It is you who hold inculcated in them that you develop.
Maybe the child should speak up at that stage. Say, you don't know the child.
And if you're not given them the environment,
as it's trying to, make it look really nice and organized. So you don't know child.
but if you wasn't given it the
It
environment,
might begin right there, so when you start anyway, talk to us about some. But what do you think about some? It's a second, it's a simple. It's not what some you talk about.
Well, sensitization is like it's like a short-term sort of solution. I think what would be important is to have issues of values in school, from primary level, secondary school, or university, find a way to continue engaging with character development right through a person's education, rather than say we're going to do how many workshops do we have? And your values are not things that we're going to pick up over 3 days. But if you're in school and you see the teachers portraying certain values, the code of conduct reflects certain values, the punishment you get is related to a certain value, then it begins to sink. And so when you get out of school and you go to secondary school and you go to university, and it's reinforced, by the time you get into society, there are some things that you will not put up with because the values are ingrained. It's not about workshopping.
Madam Juliana, talking about the Uganda material how do you think?
In the beginning, I said that the family is consisted of another child within the family. For example, if you have a household with another child from one of the family, that is the member of your family. Then you have marriages where people are from different tribes. This is okay, but the issue is how do you appreciate the culture of that person whom you are staying with. The fact that you already agreed to stay with that person means you are actually going to accept, to appreciate the values of that person whom you are staying with. So it's important that we know that as per the constitution of Uganda, all these are the communities in Uganda, intermarriages are happening in the country, but how do they work together as this is? If there are any challenges that are facing out of this relationship, it may not be that the challenges are rising because one is from a certain community, if there is a community, there may be other operational issues, and not because because it is a reality now that people actually marry people from other tribes. And why is it that they marry? Means there are other aspects that they look at. They could have looked at character, they could have looked at the positive values portrayed in that person, and therefore the children that we grow up should be able to appreciate what values of the father and mother in that community, or also the values of the person who participates in that culture. It's important that they appreciate.
Stella will talk about something else about the community later, but first of all, before we do that, let's talk about tribal languages. If the child is sadly speaking, but like to, I don't like to speak the tribal languages. Or can they speak English when they talk to them? That is English.
That changes a lot. One, the child is going to a certain indigenous community. So if the parents maybe think language and learn the language and look at it or one of them learn the language, the first point of entry is the child to learn both languages, or at least at one language. One is this so because the local language actually is a very important thing to know about these values that we are talking about. Know that the community does it in this way, these are the beliefs, these are the commands, these are the practices. But we also learned that when the child is taught in the local language, they actually perform better even when you teach them later on in the English language. So they do better academically, and this is also actually this is true in Kasesa and India, where they try to see
They don't speak vernacular.
they do better, they participate better. Then they noted that the rest of vocals were lower.
So English needs some that.
Yeah, it does need some that. So it's important that you have that.
So what was very friendly that happened?
Just say that I think we need to get back to basics. When we're looking at what culture, what social aspects of culture and tradition we had in terms of childbearing, in terms of doing practices, and then bring them back. I think it's time for us to stop and say, where did we lose it from? So that we begin at looking at those practices. How did our mothers do that? What are the cultures that we inculcated with? What are the languages? And I just wanted to add that the local language is actually very good. You can't drop in English. It takes time for you to realize the exactly. But if you give it in the local language, you actually get the thing with what already. So I think getting it passed from the mother tongue as it was would be the best way to do.
Maybe just to go. What if you're not doing coffee session at center? What are you doing today? What did you do? Somebody else.
Well,
very good.
Well, we actually had a conference, a symposium where we discussed the family from different angles.
Who doing that?
Well, it was organized by the Ministry of Gender.
The family organized a conference.
Exactly. And there was a wide range of NGOs, church leaders,
but very, very fast. Well, my only problem is they might give back to God. They don't know what to do. That's my only problem.
The problem is that they will not give back at all. So then you cannot even begin talking about family in the system.
The man and the man count for that.
You can't give back. You can't give back anything. So we cannot even begin talking about family, because family constitutes the two that come together and then get unless there is room for them to produce that.
I kept wondering, I said, man married a man and give back to God. That's what I mean. Thank you very much. I think my best, our best friend, Juliana Kuruhira, Commission of Council of the Well-being of Gender Member and Developmental. Thank you for coming. Special Madam Stella Ayo-Odong, Executive Director of the Uganda Child Rights NGO. Network Administrator Executive Director of the Cross Cultural Commission. Thank you very much for being with us. Special Madam.
Thank you.
we actually had study where we asked parents